Hello friends, welcome back to VOW DAYS. Welcome to the Vision Mains Test Series discussion, and today we are going to start with test 3 and this will be the part 1. So in this test we are going to discuss the question number 1 to question number 5, right? So before we begin, as you all know, we are providing the summaries of Vision IAS test series of prelims and mains. So what we are doing in these summaries is that we are reducing the content. So we are not removing any content, rather we are reducing the content in a short way so that you will be able to revise the content multiple times. So revision is the key thing that we are keeping in mind while preparing these documents, because at the end of the day, so what will help in your exam is the maximum revision. So for that we are using this. Let's say this document, this summary document is just done in 5 to 6 pages each mains test. That means 20 questions are summarized in just 5 pages. So 5 pages means 2.5 papers. You can revise very easily in multiple times. And this revision will reflect in your exam, will reflect how you write in your exam, because in the exam you will not have time to think. You just have to be on your toes, right? So for that this will be helpful. Now let's start with the questions. The first question is on the Pahari schools of miniature painting. The Pahari schools of miniature painting was developed from later half of 17th the mid 17th to 19th century. This Pahari school was very famous in North India, especially in the Himalayan states. It is very famous, and this school specifically is famous for these miniature paintings only. Miniature paintings only in states like Himachal, Punjab, Jammu and Karwal regions. This is very famous. So there are various schools under this Pahari painting. They are Basholi, Guler, the Kangra and so on. So it began as Basholi with coarsely flamboyant style and blossomed into an exquisite style of Indian painting. The Kangra school through Guler or pre-Kangra phase is another one. So the different schools of Pahari paintings, if you see, the Basholi painting known for its bold vitality of color and line. Example, Rasamanjari series of paintings. The features are stylized facial features. They're shown in profile dominated by large intense eyes. Colors are brilliant with ochre yellow, the brown and green grounds, all of these things. Next, the Guler painting. So Guler painting, if you see, they are part of the Jammu group of paintings, consisted of portraits of Raja Balwant Singh of Jasrota by an artist named Nansuk. They are in a new naturalistic and delicate style, marking a change from earlier tradition of the Basholi art. The colors used are soft and cool, and the style have been inspired by naturalistic style of Mughal paintings. And the Guler style is followed by the Kangra style. The Kangra style, if you see, this completely consists of this theme called Krishna and Radha. The major theme of this entire miniature painting is Krishna and Radha. So the basic thing is Krishna and Radha, and this Kangra style is the epitome of this development, you can say, in the Pahari school. Okay. And so if you see this Kangra style, the faces of women has a profile. They have a nose almost in line with the forehead. The eyes are long. The chin is narrow and is sharp. There is no modeling of figure. And next is the Kulu Mandi painting, which is the folk style of the painting in the Kulu Mandi. They are mainly inspired by the local tradition, right? So, and also the portraits of Kulu and Mandi rulers on the miniatures on the other themes are also available. So these are the various things about these Pahari school of paintings, Pahari school of miniature paintings. So remember, Pahari school of miniature paintings, famous in North India, and the main theme is Radha and Krishna. The main theme is Radha and Krishna, and the epitome of this painting was seen in the Kangra style. Okay. Now let's move on to the second question. The second question is on Industrial Revolution. See, this Industrial Revolution question is very important for the 2023, because if you see the question paper, if you analyze it, the questions will come every alternate year. The question on world history especially, it will come every alternate year. So 1 year, let's say, the world history question. It has come in 2021. Again, it will come in 2023. In 2022, if you see the question paper, the question on world history did not come, because in 2023 question will definitely come now. Again, 2024 it will not come, but 2025 it will come. So this is the pattern we are seeing. So this year we saw, in 2022 we saw more questions on ancient and medieval. From that area we are seeing questions. But next year on world history definitely we will see question. Okay. So this is the pattern that they are following. So this is the importance of analyzing previous year papers. So now coming to this industrial revolution, the question will be like why it started in England, or why the industrial revolution became popular in Europe, and how it has helped England. What is the impact of this industrial revolution? So question on these lines can be asked. So here if you see this industrial revolution, it started in the 1760s in England. It resulted in transition from small cottage industries to new mass-produced goods, and it started with the textile industry. The initial industry which dominated was textile industry because of the employment, because of the skills, because of the people availability, because of the raw material availability, because of the market availability, because of all these reasons. The textile industry was the first mechanized industry, you can say. And what are the factors responsible for the start of industrial revolution in England? They are the technological advancements like the steam engine by the Watt, and the power loom invention by Edmund Cartwright, the spinning jenny by James Hargreaves. All of these things helped in the development of this industrial revolution in England. Next is the enclosure movement, which led to the productive farming, the increase in the farm output and all, and also reduction in the labor. The labor requirement has reduced, and people started to move to the cities for the jobs, and this led to excess of labor who were willing to work in the industries, and this led to the advancements of the industries. Next is the availability of land, labor, capital, and so on. If you can see, during that time the banks also were developed because of the colonies, and because of various reasons that well developed banks are there who are willing to lend. This led to availability of the capital. This capital was invested in the industries, it was invested in the research and all, and also as we just discussed, the labor was available in excess, and also the land was available. And also if you see these countries, especially like England, they have the colonies which are readily supplying them the raw material, and also they are the markets for the finished goods. So they are supplying raw material and they are market for the finished goods. When there is ready-made demand, there will be more investments, there will be more research to maximize the profits. And because of these reasons, the industrial revolution started in England, and it has thrived in England. Now what is the impact of this industrial revolution? So this impact, if you see, this led to rise of capitalism across Europe. The economy improved, the GDP improved, it increased exponentially. In fact, there is rapid urbanization. It led to rise in population, it led to rise in middle class. But there is another reason. There are issues like depletion of resources, increase in the pollution and all, the inhuman conditions of the slums. And this also led to more imperialism, because the colonies were the ones who are supplying the raw materials and they are the markets. So if they want more profits, they need more raw material, and also they need more markets access. So because of this, the imperialistic tendencies have risen, and the countries just exploited these colonies. That there is increase in population, increase in living standards, and also decrease in natural resources. These are the various impacts of this industrial revolution. Now let's see the third question. The third question is on Swadeshi movement. The Swadeshi movement started after this 1905 Bengal split. The Bengal was divided into West Bengal and East Bengal by the then Viceroy Lord Curzon. So he has divided the Bengal. This partition of Bengal has led to a lot of uprising in various parts of the country. So the Swadeshi movement started. The three important terms, if you see during the Swadeshi movement, the Swaraj, Swadeshi, and the national education, that means local education. Swadeshi, boycott, and national education. These three became very popular. And the popular mass character of the movement, if you see, this can be observed because the women, students, urban and rural population from the Bengal and other regions also actively participated in this. Even Congress, to a certain extent, they had to accept the Swadeshi movement. They didn't have a choice. The conservative moderation to political extremism, the revolutionary terrorism to incipient socialism, all were part of it. The petitioning and public speeches for the passive resistance had origins in this movement only. But this movement, by the mid 1908, it fizzled out due to various reasons. The intensity of this movement reduced. So some reasons, if you see, the repression by the British, the ban of public meetings, processions, and the excessive police controls, expulsion of people from schools and colleges, and government service, all of these things happened. For example, during 1906, the Barcel Conference, the police dispersed conference and they have brutally beaten up large number of these participants. And also in 1907, we have seen a Surat split in Congress. This led to the increase in distance between the moderates and the extremists. So this also created issues, and this weakened the movement. Although there is spread of this movement outside Bengal, the rest of the country was not fully prepared to adopt this new style and stage of politics. There is a lack of leaders between 1907 and 1908. The major leaders of Bengal, including Ashwini Dutt and Krishna Kumar Mitra, were deported, and Tilak also was sent to jail. Tilak was sent to jail. Bipin Chandra Pal and Arvindo Ghosh, they retired from active politics. There was this passive resistance, non-violence, non-cooperation, etc. And they were used. Their implementation was not centralized and focused. And also this movement did not spread to a lot of interior parts of the country. Only in the major cities and urban areas this was very popular. And also the movement cannot be sustained endlessly with the same pitch and intensity. So that is the reason in the later stages Gandhiji did not let a movement to go on for long. So Gandhi used this strategy where he used to let the movement to go on for some time, and after that he used to stop the movement so that the intensity will not reduce. So these are the various reasons, or you can say these are the various causes of the movement, and the post, or you can say the reasons why the movement has depleted, the movement has in fact lost its importance in fact. The next fourth question is on the non-alignment movement. So in the NAM non-alignment movement, if you see, it was formed at the first Belgrade conference in 1961 by leaders like Nehru of India, Tito of Yugoslavia, and Abdel Nasser of Egypt. So there's a question on NAM. So always mention these leaders. The first Belgrade conference 1961, Nehru, Toto, and Nasser of Egypt. So just mention all these three names. Your introduction will be sorted. If you see the NAM, it was started with 25 members initially, and it is the biggest independent informal association outside UN with 120 nations and 17 observers as of now. So back then during the Cold War, there were two camps, the US camp and the USSR camp. And there are a lot of countries which need both US and USSR, especially the developing countries. They are not in a position to choose either of them. So they thought that they will remain non-aligned. They will not align either to US or to USSR, and they will remain neutral in this entire conflict, because this Cold War is an entire conflict between both these US and USSR. So these countries wanted to remain neutral, and they came together and they formed this group, the non-alignment movement. So here these countries, they try to have a collective voice. They try to have this collective voice. They try to remain neutral, right? All these things were done. So the role, if you see, to adopt a common and joint position based on merit in each case. So that means their position will be based on merit. If you see currently in the war, in the Ukraine war and all, the American camp want to choose their side and the Russian camp want to choose their side. But the truth is somewhere in the middle, and the countries, they are not left with much of choices. Okay, so a lot of countries want to remain independent and want to pursue the national interest according to their own benefit. And also the non-alignment movement, if you see, another major important is decolonization. The commitment to fight against colonialism, racism, apartheid, and to create new international economic order which would be fair and safeguard interest even of the developing countries. And the end of Cold War in 1991 questioned its relevance, and the new role, if you see, in the current days, ensuring peace, security, economic development of the developing countries. So these are the various reasons why it was adopted, and later on it lost its relevance. But does we still have the relevance of NAM today? The answer is yes. So the current Ukraine-Russia war, this is the prime example we can write. So here countries like India wanted to pursue independent foreign policy. So if we can have the support of the countries like the countries of the NAM, then the countries can choose the policies according to their own national interest and not what the countries like US and the European countries dictate. So NAM relevance is going to increase even in future, because we are seeing this dominance of these countries even in various forums like the UN, and also even during the climate discussions. So if the countries can have a collective voice, if the NAM can create a platform for the countries to have a collective voice, then these countries can achieve independence in the way they have their foreign policy, and also they can get a lot of benefits and concessions in the international bodies like UN and climate conferences. And also the South-South cooperation. The South-South means the countries which are in the southern hemisphere, they have to cooperate because they are the less developed countries. It is these countries which are in the northern hemisphere, they are developed, but the countries in the southern hemisphere, they are not much developed. So this South-South cooperation is very important, and this will help in democratizing the international order, and this will promote equality and peace all over the world. And this is a platform to negotiate international disputes peacefully, thereby securing favorable decisions for the members. It will lead to preservation of territorial integrity and sovereignty. It will lead to unifying force against the expansionist policies of big powers. Right, so these are the various things. Next, the fifth question. The fifth question is on Buddhism and Jainism. So Buddhism and Jainism has gained prominence in the later Vedic stages. And what are the factors that led to the emergence of Buddhism and Jainism? We will see them. The first, the socio-religious factors like the Varna system. Because of this Varna system and all, the people face a lot of discrimination, the people face a lot of issues, and the lower classes, especially the Shudras, they were not allowed to have salvation. So to overcome this hierarchy and all, the Buddhism and Jainism has helped them to achieve that equality and have the self-respect. So the duties and privileges, they were assigned according to the Varnas in the traditional caste system, but later on this has changed. But later on, with the emergence of Buddhism and Jainism, people were treated equally. Next, the rituals and ceremonies, they began to dominate the places of worship, and the Brahmins dominated all these things. So to overcome this domination, the Buddhism and Jainism was a path, or was a ray of hope for the people. And the Buddhism and Jainism, they were preached in Pali, unlike the Vedas, which were written in Sanskrit, and Sanskrit is a language of elites and Brahmins dominated it. And the usage of Pali in preaching Buddhism and Jainism, the Pali and Prakrit, which were the common languages of the people spoken during that time, has helped for the propagation of their message and achieve, or you can say, and helped people to gain more knowledge about these things. But later on, but there are other factors also apart from these socio-economic ones. They are the economic factors like the trade growth, the improved economic condition of the Vaishyas who wanted to enhance their social status, but the Varna system hindered it. The money lending, it was prohibited in Vedas, but the merchant class extended their support to this new religion so that because the money lending is very important for them. Next, the non-violence introduced by the Buddhism and Jainism found popularity among the people and the business traders, and so these are the various reasons. But in the later stages, the Buddhism and Jainism declined. So if you see some of the reasons for the declining of these religions is, you can see first is the patronage. The patronage reduced in the later stages, especially if you see the Guptas and all, they were patronage of Hinduism, the Guptas. So the relevance of these decreased because of the less patronage, and also along with this patronage, there are other reasons. These Buddhism and Jainism, mostly they were famous in the urban areas, and in the rural areas they did not spread, and this also led to their downfall. After that, we had the Bhakti movement. Bhakti movement saw great emergence of great spiritual leaders like Acharya Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya, and all. So they have took a systematic approach to revive this Brahmanism. So that is another reason, and also various irregularities and various vices were introduced into these Buddhism and Jainism. So because of these reasons, we saw decline in the Buddhism and Jainism in the later stages, right? So these are the 5 questions for today. I will meet you again tomorrow with question number 6 to question number 10, and we will discuss them, right? And before I leave a small information, so we are having this Vision Prelims Test Series Summary, Mains Test Series Summary, and Vision Monthly Magazine Summary. You can get all of this at a combo offer of 2499. So do make the best use of this offer, and you can get maximum benefit out of this. So that's it, guys, for the day. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned. Jai Hind.